Howdy ho, folks. It's your multiversal medium here with something completely different. Today we're in the world of Tamriel again, specifically Morrowind, for another episode of whatever the heck this is. Today we're trying dungeon diving, and specifically I do mean today. This episode was meant to be a part of the same recording session as the earlier two, and my computer didn't like that. I don't know why. I genuinely don't. But between a few false starts because of various things and a few blue screens of death, we're back again. I'll talk more about that stuff later. I really will. Anyways, I believe we're dungeon diving and trying to handle this. It's funny because I have this dungeon completed in the recordings I was trying to do, and yeah, actually, it just a lot of stuff blew up. Anyways, I believe I wanted to talk about combat as a whole. So there's a few things about combat to know. Last episode, when we were picking a spear, I pointed out the various types of attacks you could do with a spear. And I mentioned as you get better with the weapon skill, you'll start doing those attacks passively. That being said, there's a bit extra to that. As you can kind of tell, I'm doing a similar attack very consistently right now. That is based on movement. The direction you move when attacking an enemy can affect how you're attacking the enemy. Okay, I'm gonna have to get my fatigue back. Maybe just a bit to chance on actually hitting them. Hopefully. All it takes is one more hit. Oh, this ain't gonna go well, is it? Come on, just one more hit. I know my fatigue's down, but I just gotta hit him, man. I don't have healing potions. We could do this. There we go. Oy vey. Okay, to finish what I was talking about. How you're moving and how you're standing can affect how you're attacking. Standing still will usually lead to a chop attack, like so. Or is that a slash? Actually, I think that's a slash. I guess we could test it out with various like blunt weapons and swords. Whereas moving side to side will actually lead to a side to side attack, like so, and forward and backwards will usually lead to a stabbing motion. So you can have a bit of consistency in how you attack even at lower levels, but it does lead to scenarios like that where you're kind of dancing around, which honestly you don't want to do. I just mentioned a moment ago my fatigue. That's going to come up a lot when attacking enemies, especially early on. So as you kind of saw, just swinging at an enemy doesn't equate to hitting them like later games. It equates to having a chance at hitting them. This game has a good bit of dice rolls going in the background to determine whether or not you hit an enemy with various forms of attacks, specifically melee attacks, as well as if you have a spell, whether or not it properly goes off. You could fail spellcasting. And one of the most major components of that is your fatigue level. If your fatigue is super low, you're likely to fail hitting an enemy, dodging an attack, blocking an attack, or casting a spell. So usually when you're in a dungeon, you don't want to run around. You want to toggle that walk button that for some reason does not toggle on my controller properly and just kind of switches between toggles. I don't know why that's happening. I'll talk more about that later, but I am using a Steam controller and for some reason, walking doesn't like toggling for some reason. Right then, it toggled it to walk. You know what? It might not be my controller. It may be something with Open Morrowind, because this is walking right here. And for some reason, it just instantly switched back to running. So usually when you're exploring an area and you don't know where an enemy might pop out, you want to walk around. I know this feels like a snail's pace. This gets better. There are stats and skills related to how fast you move, specifically speed as a stat and athletics as a skill. It gets better. And you can obviously enchant or use magic to make it even better. Anyways, since we're pretty low on health and we can't afford really any healing items or anything right now, we're going to take a quick rest until healed. And we lucked out. No enemies. So an issue with healing via resting is enemies can attack you. It's a lot more common when you're out and about outside. But even in a dungeon, some enemies can attack you. Alrighty, so I'm going to pop a save here. As you can kind of see, I have a few more saves than last episode. Like I said, I have half an episode that just didn't work out. Basically, just something went wrong at various points, which led to a lot of restarting the episode. And then twice I blue screened. So let's just name this one The Day I Recorded Again. Yeah, let's go with that. I do like that this game does let you name your saves. The Day I Recorded Again, yeah. So, I mentioned last episode, this area will wreck you, even as a starting area. If you're new to this game, this area is going to wreck you. And it's specifically mainly this dude that's about to pop out. So, I'm going to have a quick montage of probably me dying a lot. And we're going to hopefully luck out with being able to cheese this dude. Yeah, you know what? This is actually the cheese. You know what? Yeah, let's just... Oh, no, wait. He might luck out and actually get out of this. Oh, yeah, I think he's getting out of it. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. That is almost a one-shot right there. At least for me. And it's an on-touch spell, so we don't want to be super close when he's casting it. But the cheese for this dude and some enemies that are specifically ranged is getting them stuck in a door. Because their AI is not the best, but he is figuring it out. Oh my gosh, he's learning. He's like a neural net processor. Oh, there's that hit, man. As you see, it is a lot. Oh, he actually switched to a dagger. I don't think I've seen him switch to a dagger before. Are we going to be able to luck him out with this? So yeah, if you're playing at home and you do want to do this dungeon for whatever reason, you don't think you'll be back here, this is how you cheese this dude. That, or maybe you got untouched spells yourself. Yeah, I think he's fully just stuck at this point. Good stuff. Which will... Oh no! 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 My death! As it was foretold in the Elder Scrolls. No! Are we going to have to do the death montage? And probably just salvage any footage I got from the last episode to do it? No. No. Get out of here. I don't want to deal with your nonsense. No. Door. Hashtag rude, man. Wait for it. Oh, gosh, I almost got his frickin' face stuck on it. It's very... What is it? Three Stooges-y, I guess you could say. Just trying to... There we go. Oh, gosh, yeah, wow. First try with the new recording. That's... I feel special. It's honestly just because for some reason he switched to his dagger. That's the only reason I survived that. 100%, as you kind of saw with his untouched spell, that is near an insta-kill for me. And it's a near insta-kill for most players at level 1 and just at earlier stages. Yeah, we're gonna rest until healed again. The reason I'm going into this corner is so I'm far enough away from enemies to actually heal up. This and basically any Elder Scrolls where you can heal won't let you do it if there's enemies nearby, and well, this is a bandit cave. Kind of makes sense that there's enemies nearby. Let's pop a quick save because that was actually difficult, but as I'm typing up this save, I will feel free to pop in that yakety sax style death montage. Probably with, what music should I use for that? Let's do You Are Dead, because that's a fun one. I like that song.
You are dead, dead, dead. You are dead, dead, dead.
Thought you were hot. Guess what? You're not.
You are dead, dead, dead.
You brought your whole adventure to a screeching halt.
You are dead, dead, dead.
Your heart has stopped and your brain is cold. You were so dead, and now your body is starting to mold. You were so dead. This dimension cuts like a knife.
You are dead, dead, dead.
What a pitiful waste of a human life.
You are dead, dead, dead.
Your heart has stopped and your brain is cold. You were so dead, and now your body is starting to mold. You were so dead. Aw, such a sad, sad story. You're gone, empty head in the red. Game over, you're through. Gone. How does it feel to be dead?
You are dead.
Bye-bye, your history, you're through. You're dust. I hope you improve your lousy score. Adios, see you later, bye-bye. Try again.
You are dead, dead, dead. You are dead, dead, dead.
There we go. Yeah. I died a lot last recording. None of those were the reason I had to restart the recording, by the way. That was just me throwing myself at the wall until I remembered that beautiful cheese. Anyways, as you can kind of tell, this individual is ranged. Those of you that may be confused about what they're using for ranged, yeah, they're using throwing stars. Throwing weapons are a thing in this game, just like spears, and they are not in later games. Oh gosh, it's probably going to be tight. Am I going to be able to take her out? Come on. Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
You will suffer greatly.
Hashtag rude, man. Anyways, this is probably a good time to talk about my controller setup. I'm pretty certain I was intending to talk about that this episode. It feels weird because I had an earlier chance to talk about it before this recording went tits up, basically. And yes, I know it feels obscenely weak at the start of the game and I'm getting raffle stomped. Rats can raffle stomp you at the start of the game. The start of the game is difficult. Why? Because you're a loser. You are 100% a loser at the start of the game. That being said, it gets easier as you level up and get better at various things in the game, so don't feel too bad about dying a lot right at the start of the game. It's going to happen. It is. As you saw with that wonderful montage, I know I'm not the best at this game, but it's going to happen, and it's about to happen again right here. There it is. Yeah, let's go to I did it. I definitely died. Yep. Okay, so basically, as I was talking about my controller setup, I'm using a Steam controller. And actually, I'm going to see if I can mess with my options to see if there's a toggle for run. I may have to leave open Morrowind and go into the startup settings because I think that's what's happening. I set it up so it would toggle, and for some reason it's not properly toggling. And as you can kind of tell, it is a bit more important in this game than most other games. And again, it just kind of feels like it's not being hit half the time. Maybe it is the controller. Either way, Steam controller stuff. One, Steam Controller is awesome. I love Steam Controller. Steam Controller can have some of my items after I die because Steam Controller has helped me in various scenarios. It makes me happy. It's been there when other people haven't. It let me play Divinity 2 Ego Draconis on PC. Because, you know, Steam Controller lets you map everything. So if you've ever held a Steam Deck and you've picked up any game that doesn't have controllers set up kind of built into it,
Is the end of you,
it will map things to your Steam Deck and the trackpads in order to play the game correctly. And you can mess around with it enough to the point where it's perfectly comfortable for you. It's honestly great. Before the Steam Deck and their setup of all that, there was the Steam controller that you could just hook up to your PC, and it's effing awesome. It's basically the same as that. Morrowind doesn't have controller support, and I'm just using a Steam controller, and it's fairly similar to the... Oh gosh.
Your
Oh
pain is
gosh.
nearing an end.
Yeah, my life is nearing an end. I'm so unwell right now. Much death.
Your pain is nearing an end.
Well, that's that. I'm just going to keep this in to continue talking about this, and if I die one more time, we're skipping ahead. Once more, it's not going to be as bad as we get higher and higher in level, get better gear, and get better at our skills and stuff. Something that's really destroying me right now is my fatigue. That is one of the things that's truly wrecking me. Especially the fact that I'm not having a proper toggle for walking and running. If you are playing this at home, maybe on like Xbox or whatever, and you want to have a fun experience, feel free to do the cheat that lets you constantly regen stamina and other stuff fast enough. The game is still fun in low-key God mode, so don't worry about that. Actually, that's my view of most things. If you can have fun with it, it doesn't matter how you're playing it, as long as you're not hurting other people. If it's like a PvP game and you're cheating, that is bad. But for a single player game, do casual mode. Do God mode. Have fun with it. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Just have fun with the game. That's what you bought it for. That's what you're playing it for. Have fun. What is fun for you? If fun is it being difficult, sure. If fun is it being easy enough where you can just experience the entire game, awesome. Oh, gosh, I am wishing I had that freaking Farengar's ring right now. That would go wonderfully. Actually, can we repair our spell? Is this gonna work? No, that's water breathing. I was a fool. I was a fool. Oh, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Starter spells go-go, baby. I'll talk about that in a second, about how that worked. Now, basically, the Steam controller. Finish up that thought process, go to the spell nonsense. So as awesome as it is, obviously it's an old item, and support for it was discontinued.
You will
Ooh-hoo.
suffer greatly.
Ooh. Got you down finally. Awesome. She has a lockpick and a probe. So probes, I don't know if I went over that last episode or if it was when I was trying to record this episode. Probes are like lockpicks. You use them the same way, but when you come across a locked door, locked chest, or an unlocked one, as opposed to saying it's locked, it will also say it's trapped. And you use a probe to disarm the trap. It is the same skill. It has the same kind of UI and everything. UI being you just equip it and then you use it like you would a weapon. But that's how you disarm traps in this game, with probes. Anyways, since the Steam controller has support just gone, doesn't exist anymore. Ooh, an iron tower shield? Ooh. That's nice. Can I actually have that going with my... I can have that going with my spear. Could be nice. That's actually gonna hopefully help me get a bit of a block EXP and stuff. That'd be really helpful. So that's just one of those skills that... Oh, we're over encumbered actually. We need to start dropping stuff. I'm gonna put it in here just so we can grab it later. These shoes. But since the Steam controller lost support basically years ago, it's not easy to update anymore. It really isn't. In fact, I'd go out of my way to say it's infuriating to update now. So basically, what I had to do was connect my controller via a like USB to my computer. I had to download an older version of Steam, like the Steam client. Open that older version of the Steam client while logged out of the up-to-date version. Log in with the old version, just so I could use some UI that they had removed in later versions of the Steam application. And that UI just lets me update the controller so that it has Bluetooth. It effing sucked. Because, like, although that process seems simple when you basically put it out step by step like that, that was after like 2 hours of trying to figure it out. I think I mentioned a couple episodes ago, I was planning on having this entire recording session of Morrowind
Speak freely, friend.
immediately start after finishing Dread Delusion. I was all ready to go with that. I immediately got Open Morrowind going. It was going to be awesome. I was so excited for it. And, and then issues did occur. Oh gosh, did issues occur. Specifically with like the Steam controller. Because although I could play this with... Actually, no, we're going to keep the throwing stars. Just in case we want to work on marksman. I don't think they weigh a lot. They're 0.1 per, so that's not a lot right there. Okay. This stuff, I want to keep it just to be able to do alchemy later, but getting to a point where I might have to drop it. But a bow, I think we're low-key good for now. What's the way the candlestick weighs a lot? We're actually getting rid of that. Torches weigh 1 each, I think. Is that correct? Is it weighing 2 because I have a stack of 2? That'd be good to know UI wise. Nope, torches just weigh 2. We'll keep 1 torch in the candlestick. Give me a bit more, because I'm pretty. Do you not think I'm pretty? I'm a lizard. I'm awesome. I have scales. Gosh, man. Hashtag rude. Okay. But yeah, it took a majority of the time just figuring out how to get the Steam controller working again. Because honestly, this is the type of controller you want if you are just playing a computer game that doesn't have controller support. I can enjoy playing Oblivion or Morrowind just with this effing controller. I am so pissed they don't exist anymore. I'm upset that they're no longer sold. Even if they were sold, I wouldn't know where you'd buy them, considering GameStop's out of business in the US, basically. I know it isn't, but it basically is. There is not a GameStop within like a 30+ minute drive from where I live. I would have to drive hours to find a GameStop right now. It's effing infuriating. So yeah, I don't even know where you'd buy one of these things if they were still in circulation, but if you have a chance to pick up one cheap and you like computer games, go for it. It's a bit of a hassle getting it working on modern hardware, but once you do, it's lovely. Like all this movement right now is me emulating a mouse. I'm emulating a mouse with a trackpad, basically, just a flat surface that works like a touchscreen while assuming, hey, if I move this to the left where I started and put down my thumb, it's going to think a mouse is moving to the left. It works wonderfully. It's probably basically the only tech I enjoy based around touchscreen nonsense, because I despise touchscreens. I really do. How are we looking? 176. Okay. Yeah, grab all that. Still looking 180. Yeah, most Elder Scrolls games right at the start of the game are just a bit of picking up a lot of garbage and selling it for breadcrumbs, basically. Honestly and genuinely, you're picking up anything you can just for a bit of starting capital to outfit yourself. I am not against that, because you start off as usually a prisoner, someone who doesn't have anything, tossed in a foreign country usually. You are like broke and in a place you don't know. Ooh, common. Let's get an expensive belt on. Ooh, fancy. Get that on. And is that a skirt? That is a skirt. Don't I look fancy? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I do declare I'm a fancy lizard right now. Yes, I am. Okay. I think that's basically enough about the Steam controller. It's awesome. It's a bit of a hassle to get working, but once you do, it's great. But I had to basically try to Google and figure out how to get it working, while the entire time I was like, I want to play Morrowind, I want to play Morrowind, I want to play Morrowind. So it was a bit more annoying for me. Okay. So, spellcasting. As you kind of saw, or maybe you weren't super paying attention, I was cycling through spells without going into my menu. There is a button to cycle spells, and you can kind of see that in the bottom left. I'm right now cycling through them. That is just a button. You can cycle through them. But they, like weapons, lockpicks, or what have you, need to be equipped. There's no button for me to cast a spell right now because I have a spear out.
Do you need?
But if I hit the ready spell, I'll have my hands out. And then you use the same button to cast a spell as you would to swing your weapon. So yeah. You can't have spells and weapons going at the same time. That was a big improvement with Oblivion that people loved, being able to just have a spell and be able to cast it without having to get rid of... How's that compared to mine? 1977. I'm gonna switch out mine for that one just because I'm a cheap bugger, but I don't really super need to. I don't. It's just to save like a few pence, basically. Every small bit helps at the start of the game. It's not going to be much of an issue later, but at the start, yeah. Hashtag rude, man. I just went one up. I know my mercantile's basically... Gosh, what is it, 6? I think my mercantile's 6. Oy vey. I freaking raised my offer by 1 gold and he's like, nah, man. Nah. We cool, but we ain't that cool. Like, seriously, it's a penny. It's like, nah, man. Abraham Lincoln's more my friend than you and I are friends right now. Like, dude, are you serious? It's like, yeah, I would not give you the corner of a chicken nugget. We are not that cool. It's like, oof, oof. That hits deep, weirdly enough, man. That hits deep. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's how spells work. So, being able to cast spells and attack in combat does take a moment to, 1, get in the rhythm of it, but 2, since they're separate things, it's a matter of switching between them when you need them, if you do want both of them. Obviously, you could go full spellcaster and never touch a weapon if you truly want to, Or you could go full martial melee and never touch a spell if you truly want to. Those are options. Play the game however the heck you want. So it's an iron claymore. Okay. Beyond that, gosh. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the fact that I'm wearing a skirt. One, because it's super dapper. And two, I'll talk about moon sugar and stuff later. But basically, clothing in this game. As you can kind of tell, clothing takes up different slots than the other apparel. I have both pants on as well as greaves. These are two different slots. Even though I have pants on, I can have a skirt on. Those are two different slots. So basically, you can wear clothes and armor. Why? Well, that just makes sense. Do you think people in full plate mail are just naked underneath? Like, it just makes sense, man. Ooh, pillows. Ah, I'm gonna get me some nice sleep later if I have those on. Okay, any expensive or nope, just looks like common throughout. The reason I'm looking for expensive and such, oh gosh, I'm already encumbered. No, oh gosh, it was bound to happen. I'm just so weak at this stage, I can barely carry anything. First and foremost, let's drop off the moon sugar. And secondly, probably some Quarmer eggs. These things weigh a decent amount. Yeah, okay. But the reason I'm looking for expensive and like higher tiered clothes is I'm fairly certain. I don't know this for certain. This is something I probably looked up years ago. It's actually the fun bit about playing Morrowind. I don't think I've done a proper in-depth playthrough for around a decade. Some of the stuff is foggy for me. I don't remember everything. That is usually the time frame it takes for me before I will replay a game, because I remember things a bit too well. I remember plot beats too well, as well as twists and turns in the storytelling and everything that was going on. So I won't feel like I'm enjoying myself replaying a game before that stuff starts to become a bit more foggy. So we're at the perfect time for me to be playing Morrowind. I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, I'm pretty certain the better clothing you have, the better impression you will passively give when meeting and talking to people. Your passive impression is also based on your personality stat. So basically, if I have a high personality and great clothes on, people will have a higher disposition towards me just first time meeting them, before I even try to persuade or do anything. Oh, I got skooma on me. Okay, that's a good follow through. I'm not going to buy that skooma from you. Get rid of it and then we could talk. Skooma. Skooma is an illegal narcotic substance made from refined moon sugar. Criminals use it as a kind of currency. They say it makes you fast and strong, but clumsy and stupid. Of course, I want nothing to do with it. So yeah, that's a good jumping off point.
To what do I owe the pleasure, Argonia?
Basically, there's two illegal substances in this setting, skooma and moon sugar. And as we just saw, basically shopkeepers will not deal with us when we have it in our inventory. You may have noticed earlier in the series where I was easily selling stolen goods. They can't tell stolen goods from regular goods, so that doesn't matter. But moon sugar and skooma? Oh heck yeah, they can tell what the heck that is. And they refuse to deal with you. They refuse outright to deal with you if you have that in your inventory. So it leads to scenarios like this where you're carrying it around. It's worth 500. I have 2 of them. Arguably, even with my low mercantile, I'm getting a minimum of 500 from these 2 bottles of skooma. At least I think so. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been taken advantage of a lot in my life, especially in Elder Scrolls, so maybe I'm wrong. Either way, moon sugar and skooma are illegal in the country, and a majority of the NPCs will not deal with you. So you'll end up just dropping them on the ground, purchasing stuff from the NPC, selling stuff, what have you, and then just picking it back up and hoping you'll come across an NPC to sell it to. Now, I'm fairly certain if you join the Thieves Guild, you'll be able to get a few merchants that will buy it pretty early on. Then again, I think there's an outpost of the Thieves Guild in Balmora, and I don't know if you need to be a part of them to immediately be able to sell it. We'll find that out once we get there. Take all that again. And I think that was it. Pretty certain. There's nothing else. Yeah, okay. Time to continue exploration. Yeah, good stuff. And this should be, yep, okay. The key just opened it. Should probably start walking here. Actually, no, we're about to go swimming. Look how clear that water is. I'm pretty certain that's because of open Morrowind. How lovely. Quick heads up about swimming in this game. As I already talked about in the first episode, water breathing is a thing even Argonians need to keep casting. And there are a lot of dungeons and areas where you're going to have to swim. If you have hydrophobia, if you have a fear of things in water, this game's going to test your limits if you play it. It really is. That being said, if you are okay with the game, and for whatever reason you want to frickin' super train your athletics, as opposed to going to an actual trainer, which is useful. I mentioned earlier in the episode, if you want to go faster just in general, it's your speed stat and your athletics. Ooh, a skull. That's mine now. Oh no! Air! Air! Okay. But yeah, as we just saw, you take continuous damage. Okay. Oh, rat. But yeah, raising athletics or whatever is a lot easier in water by swimming. And honestly, if you want to be arguably smart about it, while possibly also being stupid about it, I just realized I never healed up. This rat may wreck me. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be freaking funny. Am I going to die to a rat? Well, I told you, basically everything can wreck you. From a worm to a rat, they can wreck you early on. Especially if you're just not ready to fight them. Also, yes, they do not have swimming animations. That's just its walking animation or whatever, and that's gonna be its movement no matter what, even if it's in water. It looks like a freaking ghost considering I'm on the surface of the water. That's kind of funny. I'm just gonna let my fatigue go back up because it's letting me. Fight smarter, not harder, and all that. Anyways, one of the things you can do to raise athletics is get into an area that has water but is safe for you to be in, because there are enemies in water. I specifically think of the river in Balmora because it has a river dividing it. And just swim forward into a wall. If you're on a computer, maybe just set up something pressing down the forward button. Oh, don't have anything. And by holding down the forward button continuously while just swimming into a wall and maybe going to eat lunch or whatever, you'll be able to get a few levels in athletics. Athletics is one of the more difficult skills to truly raise. It takes a long time to raise it just by doing the task in which raises athletics, because it's from walking, it's from running, it's from just basically existing in the game. If you play Rune Factory, it's the walking skill. That's what it is. but it has the bonus of raising your speed as you get higher and higher in the skill level for it, which, let me put it this way. This is my running speed. This is how fast I am when I run. This isn't even a proper walking speed for most people. I am slower than molasses. Like, this is my walking speed. This slow saunter. Seriously, it's just insulting how slow it is. So yeah. You kind of want to be able to raise your speed if you want to not go insane from just movement. If that makes sense. Because yeah, it's slow. But with a few tricks, and as you get further and further into the game, it won't be nearly as bad. And that's just it. This game is one of the best feelings of Zero to Hero. I think I mentioned that in an earlier episode. At least in my honest experience, this game very easily goes from I am the weakest freaking loser to have ever existed. I am the biggest weenie of Weenie Hunt Super Juniors, or Super Weenie Hunt Juniors. And then after just putting in a bit of effort to polish whatever skills you truly want to polish, you'll instead turn into I am a god who is flying through every room, setting off nukes. I am invulnerable to all of your attacks. You cannot mess with me. You can't even get close to touching me. I am become death, destroyer of balance. And that's mainly just through leveling up your skills and putting an effort towards such things. It is very rewarding to do things like that. I honestly genuinely enjoy it. Oh, it's getting dark out. I suppose we can do that one quest where we're supposed to shake down Farengar. Yeah, that would probably be smart. But first we gotta find Farengar. And then we're gonna have to find a nice little lookout. Actually, we could look up our journal right now. What is my journal key? I'm gonna have to figure that out. Nope, that's sneak. This, I think that's mouse button, not that. What could it be? Honestly, it was a lot more obvious than I thought. Apparently it's not obvious as I mash it. There we go. There we go. So I never got a chance to talk about the journal earlier episodes, but this is how we're going to keep track of a lot of info. And it's written very well. Check the options menu. Oh, it looks like Open Morrowind lets you search for various things, as well as search for various topics. That's nice. But yeah, that's some great Open Morrowind nonsense, being able to search for stuff. Honestly, that's wonderful. Because as you can kind of tell, we only have pages and pages. And these are going to be added in the order we get them. I guess I'll go over this stuff real quick. First page. 16, last seed, day 1. In other words, day 1 of me starting this game. My orders are to go to the town of Balmora in Vardenfell district and report to a man named Caius Casadus. To find out where he lives, I should ask in Balmora at the corner club called South Wall. When I find Caius Casadus, I must give him a package of documents and wait for further orders. I've met a Bosmer named Fargoth who claims the Imperials have stolen a ring of his. He would like it back. I have returned the engraved ring of healing to Fargoth. He was overjoyed to have it back. Promised to mention my name to the trader here in town, Erel. I've heard rumors of an island to the north called Solstheim. That's DLC. I've been told there's a boat in Kuhl in order to go to Solstheim. Briscar Flatfoot asked me to do him a favor. He believes that Fargoth has been hiding money from the Imperials, and he'd like to know where it's gone. If I will work for him, he will give me a share of the bounty. I have agreed to help Briscar find the money that Fargoth has been hiding away. I am supposed to keep an eye on him from atop the lighthouse in town and watch where he goes. Briscar believes I should watch him at night. I'm not supposed to approach him at any time. I should then retrace his footsteps and find out where he's hidden the money. When I found it, I should report back to Briscar. And I got some directions to Balmora in the trade house. Okay, yeah. So, as you can see, it's kind of dark. I think every version of the game gets fairly dark at night, but wonderfully, our Mark actually has a torch. That's going to help out. It really is. At least in being able to differentiate him from the other individuals walking around. And yes, I know Farengar is down on his luck and just kind of just a weird sad sack weenie. He honestly is. He's let me put it this way. Farengar is this game's version of the adoring fan from Oblivion. A majority of players of this game kind of love just disliking him, if that makes sense. And it's mainly because that engraved ring of healing that we got at the start of the game. Just how the start of the game, that first episode went, it's pretty on point for most players to find it, and it literally has tutorial nonsense about it. It is meant to be tutorial. You pick it up, this is an item that heals you. You may have noticed after that dungeon run, I don't have anything that heals me besides that spell that I started with. And I may only have that spell simply because, well, my intelligence is over a certain level. Some characters might not have a healing spell at the start. They just might not. So having the engraved ring of healing is a great way to heal up when you don't have the chance to. At least at the start of the game, it's really useful. And then the first NPC, legit, the first NPC you find asks for it. And people feel bad not giving it to him, which is understandable. Oh yeah, it's getting pretty dark. I wonder if there's a way to mess around with Open Morrowind to make it a bit brighter. If any of you guys playing at home have played Open Morrowind, you know the system a bit better than me. I'd like to be able to turn up the brightness at night just a bit. This is pretty bleak, but I think that's him over there, possibly. He's at least standing out. We can kind of make out a body moving around. That could possibly be him. No, wait, that's definitely him right there. That's a torch. That's definitely someone with a torch. So that's either the guard or Farengar. So where are you going, man? What are you doing? Yeah. I do like for this little quest line. I even pointed it out. Actually, I think those are just two guards. I think Farengar is still over there. That this is just to showcase that NPCs as a whole have movement and a bit of a pattern based on the time. It's not as in-depth as any of the later games. It's super not in-depth, to be perfectly honest. But also this era usually did not have NPCs with their own schedules. There were earlier games that did this. I think the Ultima games rock this stuff, but I don't think any of the Ultima games that were in a 3D sphere rocked it like this. But I'm pretty certain later Ultima games, like the top-down ones, 100% just had NPCs that worked on a schedule and did things at this time, went to go have lunch at that time, so on and so forth. But a full 3D model, 3D first-person experience that does that, I don't know, and I honestly don't think Morrowind was probably the first one to do it. And it's very archaic in Morrowind. But it is still fairly new. And it's nice. So that being said, I think we're going to be waiting here for a minute for Fargoth. But yeah, people dislike him because he basically takes the one good way of healing at the start of the game that everyone has access to, and everyone immediately, when they first start playing this game, one doesn't know healing items are hard to kind of deal with at the start of the game. They don't know how bad it is to heal and how tough it is at the start of the game yet. You just left the tutorial. You don't know. So one, you probably just hand it off to him because he asked. You're like, oh, what will I get? This is cool. Oh, I just get disposition? Why would I care about that? And two, you're going to immediately talk to him because you're exploring this new game. It's legit a trap set by the devs to make you give up this item that you immediately picked up before you realize how good it is. It's legit a trap. It's so funny. But that's the reason a majority of people, I think, dislike Fargoth. So there's a lot of mods online that are kind of making fun of him. He is the adoring fan character. People just, they don't like him, man. Anyways, I'm going to speed up through this, so BRB. Why is it brighter after frickin' it starts raining, man? Is it technically morning? It's 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. and it's now super bright considering it's raining. It's kind of funny. You know what's funny about the fact that it's raining? I don't think they can have their torches out anymore. So we have better visibility in one way, while also arguably having worse visibility in another. I think that may be Helm right there. Pretty certain that's possibly Helm. Or not. You know what? Maybe not. Gosh, it's so dark. Where is my wonderful little wood elf bugger that everyone wants to punch? Like, I know where the hidey hole is. He just needs to go and activate it. Alrighty. I think we just basically waited throughout the entire night. Sadly, considering how dark it was, I couldn't really make them out. That being said, yeah, I do know where the hiding spot is. Gosh dang, man. I am probably going to have to try and figure out if there's any settings I can do to just brighten the overworld a bit in Open Morrowind. So I'm going to have to look into. We kind of had some bad luck because it started raining. And as I mentioned, with the rain, it makes it so torches don't work. Heck, you can't even see what's directly in front of me. Gosh dang. Can't even see the fact this is a hollow tree stump. Gosh dang. So yeah, it's super dark. Super duper dark. In fact, it's so super dark, I'm wondering if I should mess with settings right now to try and make it less dark. There we go. Now I can actually see things. Fancy. Okay, so if you're playing open Morrowind at home, basically, as you saw, it was just really super dark. At least it should be picked up in my recording, so it's that way. Hitting F2 will bring up this option. Basically, we hit adjustments and hit this to bring it over so it's active, and then we just adjusted stuff until we could see things properly. So if you're playing this at home, legit, that's how you're going to make your game a bit brighter. I was wondering why all the lighting options in the actual options menu just were not lighting up the exterior. I did legit light up interiors, but for some reason there's no option for exteriors. Apparently it's this. I might have to mess with my interior lighting stuff later, but whatever. That's good to know. That is good to know. Anyways, Fargoth at some point would have come out to here. And sadly we never saw it. Hollowed tree stump. He still didn't do it, actually. Oh my effing goodness. Fargoth! Why are you like this? Oi. Vey. Oof. Ah. Oofta. Okay, I'll tell you what, guys. I'll be right back. I'll be right back when he finally decides to hide all his stuff. Oy vey. Okay. No, interior still we seem pretty lit. This is nice. It's nice. Able to see things perfectly now. Oh well, be right back. As Fargoth waste my time even more. Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to just say the pun. It's like night and day with proper lighting. It really is. Really effing is. So I don't think that's Fargoth. Fargoth's over yonder. Oy vey. Oy vey. Let's just enter sneak mode heck quick. I'll talk about sneak and then we'll just super cut ahead to when Fargoth actually does his thing. So, sneaking. As you can see in the bottom left, there is an icon with, I believe, a key and a key ring kind of thing. I believe that's what it is. I can't remember exactly. It's been years since I actually took the time to look at it up close. But, basically, when that's on your screen when you're in sneak mode, you are hidden. Your enemies or anyone cannot see you. That being said, sneak is a lot like attacking in this game. It's based on various factors, and it does dice rolls and basically a algorithm in the background about whether or not you're going to be sneaking. Right now I am sneaking, but since my sneak skill is kind of low, I think it's what, 30 tops? I'm going to fail sneaking anywhere near anyone. That being said, much like weapon skills and other things like spellcasting, once you raise your skill, once you get higher stats in it that affect sneak, you're going to be able to sneak around and near people a lot, and I mean a lot easier. That being said, raising sneak is difficult when you're at low level because of this. Because in order to raise your sneak, you need to successfully be sneaking near someone. And since you don't have high sneak, that's not easy. It's not a matter of just being out of sight from where they're looking. It really isn't. You don't even need to move around, if I remember right. You just need to be in sneak near them. And what's more, that's difficult. I mentioned earlier in the episode, basically just being in water and then having your character swim forward into a wall to raise your athletics. For sneak, you legit find an NPC that's standing in one spot. Get it so they don't have perfect line of sight on you. Enter sneak mode, if I remember right, and just go do other stuff. And it can take hours. Legit, if there is a skill that you're going to train until it's usable, it's probably going to be sneak. And I know that sounds like, oh my gosh, sneak must suck. And it's like, it gets better. It does. Legit, it does. They all do. Every single skill does. But when you're a freaking bumbling buffoon that doesn't even know his left foot from his right toe, of course you're not good at sneaking. And that's every single skill. You're not good at it until you put in the time, the effort, and get the stats to back it up, basically. If you have the skill maxed out and not the stats, you're still pretty competent at it. But you're not, like, grand at it. So yeah. This game does reward you for fully diving into how the skills and how you want to make your character. That's all I want to talk about. We're going to skip ahead now, hoping Fargoth will just do this real quick. It's not going to be real quick, is it? I'll talk to you guys later. BRB. I've been calling him Fargoth and not Fargoth this entire time. It's effing funny. Screw it, he's still Fargoth in my mind. I don't even know where I got that name. Okay, I think that's actually him right there. Is he just glitching out or what? Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's him right there. Someone with a torch kind of sneaking around. That's what he's doing. Why did that take so long? Yeah, that's... Okay, we in there. We definitely in there. Good stuff. Watch him go do his thing. Going into the swamp. Messing around with the stump.
There's someone watching me. I can tell.
And his torch is now gone and he's just walking around. Yeah. That was definitely him doing it. Okay, cool. We are officially in there. That took way too long. Like severely too long. Oy vey. Gosh dang, man. That was the uncomfy kind of way. I was just looking up various things in Morrowind while waiting. Like I was just looking up, oh, what other quests can I do here besides the tax one? Oh yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, fancy. Oh, right, the Thieves Guild. I know they had the huge feud with the Fighters Guild, but I know you can join both of them if you're smart about it. How's that going to work again? Yeah, legit, I was just doing research. Anyways, there we go, we found it. Journeyman's Lockpick, 300 gold. And hey, guess what this is? Engraved Ring of Healing. So yeah, even if you do turn it in during the quest, you can get it back this way. Which honestly, yeah, let's just equip that real quick. Fargoth still likes us because he doesn't know we're the one that took it. So from here, there's a couple things we could do. Ooh, athletics went up. Nice. That is always nice.
Sun and Sky, Outlander, we greet you warmly.
But the things we can do are immediately turn in this quest to Hariskar and basically give him the 300 gold. Oh, right. moon sugar and such. Sorry, man.
If you wish to talk, it is really no trouble at all.
Let's see here. Moon sugar's right here. Pop that. And let's see here. Tovani bug musk. Gross. Just seems gross. There we go. Now, business, please. But yeah, we can immediately turn in this quest to Hriskar and hand over the 300 gold. Yeah, cool. Or we can just put off turning in this quest. Genuinely and truly, we could just put this off indefinitely until we decide to turn it in. Slave. Oh, we forgot to frickin' free the slaves. Oh no. I forgot about that. Tell you what, buddy. 15? No? 14? Cool. Okay, yeah, about that.
What is
So,
this, Argonian?
I'm just gonna turn it in because I'm gonna forget later.
What's
Have
your
this quest
story?
be completed. Fargoth's hiding place. You found his hiding place. It's great. Tell you what, I'll give you 100 gold, and you can keep anything else that you found in there. Thanks for your help. Cool, cool. So yeah, basically we keep 100, he keeps 200 of it. A better split than what you'd usually get in a lot of games, honestly. Let's be effing honest. But like I was saying, you could just refuse to turn in the quest and then come back at a later time and just hand them 300 gold when money's not much of an issue. 100% when you're just like decked out with money, you could just come back over here, turn this in whenever, now that we found the hiding spot. Anything else to say about that? Good that you found that for me, friend. I'll make that little fetcher pay for lying to me. Although, I've got to be honest, it is kind of fun messing with that little guy. I like to take something from his place and stick it in the old barrel in the census and excise courtyard. Gives the new arrivals something to look forward to. Oy vey, man. So yeah, Hriskar is the reason that the ring is where it is. Oh, so we have the enchanted
What is this
item,
about?
the ring again. And I just switched to it via spells, as you can see in the bottom left. And yes, we would just use it like a regular spell at that point. Okay, let's make a... Well, it won't be a quick run, but a super slow-mo kind of Babe Watch run over to the Smuggler Cave real quick. We didn't fully explore it, and I completely forgot. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I completely forgot about that. Oy vey, that's... I feel bad. I genuinely feel bad. Like, legit, I killed all these smugglers who are doing horrible illegal things, and then I just left their prisoners. They're slaves that they have locked up over here that can't leave. So basically, I killed the thing keeping them alive, and then just bailed. At what point am I the villain? Because I almost just was. Oh my goodness. Okay, so hey, yeah, slaves. Slaves in this game are, I think,
Your turn.
everywhere. They're just Argonians or Khajiits. And as you can tell, Argonians are more beast-like, as are Khajiits, with that whole foot setup. I think they're called like Digitrade or something like that. I honestly don't know.
All my fault.
There's a few mods you can get for, I think, Oblivion as well as Skyrim that kind of change your beast feet into this, and I kind of prefer it because they should be a bit more bestial in my opinion. But whatever. So we have a male Argonian and a female. As you can tell, females do not have the titties that they do in later entries in the series. And I can go into detail about that. Do you have the key to these bracers? Will you let me go free? Go free. You have the key. Will you let me go free? Unlock the slave's bracers. Yeah. Yes. Bandargo is free. You are a good friend to Bandargo. 100 disposition. They love me now. You have the key. Will you let me go free? Let's just go and free all 3 of these dudes because not for nothing, but I don't like slavery. I really, really don't. Get the bracer off her real quick too. And we're good. Okay, so the slave's bracers item. Basically, anytime you come across a slave, they're going to have one of these on. And they're just a constant effect enchanted item. They're also not worth a lot. I think the value is what, 5? Yeah. But it constantly drains their magicka. And that's what's going to equate to a slave bracer. You keep that on an individual and you make sure they can't grab anything to fight back with. And yeah, they're basically forced to be your slave in this setting. Especially when you consider they're slaves to dark elves, which are known to be able to handle magicka really well, or well, the other dark elves that are buying slaves are usually people of noble houses. Noble houses usually encapsulate a certain ideology of nobility, I guess you could say. We can join 3 of them in this game. And the 3 of them we can join kind of fit within the 3 major archetypes that we could choose for our class. There's a combat noble house, there's a magic noble house, and there is a rogue noble house, I guess you could say. I don't know if it'd be considered stealth, but yeah.
Day is yours.
So yes, there are 3 noble houses you can join. The funniest is probably the stealth one because it has the author to the Lusty Argonian Maid in it.
How do you do?
Yeah, just the author of that book is just a part of that noble house. Where is it? This one isn't. Yeah, it is. At least I'm remembering this time. And also pop this down. There we go. And we're just gonna sell those bracers because they're kind of heavy too. I think they weigh 5. Yeah, weight of 5 compared to my steel bracer, which is 5. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Anyways. Yeah. Just give me that. Get out of there. Small amount of money is always useful. The frickin' other noble houses that would have slaves, both the magic and combat one, obviously could handle the slaves if they fought back. The magic one obviously stopping them from being able to deal with them with magic makes them very easy to handle because they're master wizards. And they legit are. And the combat-based noble house obviously is filled with martial prowed individuals, and they just immediately destroy these dudes. As for the stealth-based house, well, they bribe the guards. So if you try to F with that house, I'm pretty certain it usually ends up with a majority of the law after you, and not in a good way. So they can easily stop these slaves from being able to do anything. Plus, it is fully legal to have them as slaves in this setting. I believe that was talked about maybe first episode. Anyways, guys, it's been an episode. I'm glad I'm playing this. I know it's this game's pretty slow. I didn't realize how many hours you put in just doing stuff. I'm enjoying it. I am. Gosh, is it slower than I remember? I don't mind that. I hope you guys don't mind that. I know at some point I'm going to have to super condense this series. Like super duper condense it for anyone who does mind it.
What is this about?
Yeah, it's been an episode. I'll talk to you guys later in another episode of Morrowind or anything else on my channel. But until then, ciao. Howdy, folks. If you liked what you saw, maybe consider another series of mine, like this one, or maybe just check out my channel. And if you enjoyed that video, I'd really appreciate if you took the time to like and comment down below. It helps me get more videos into your hands. Thanks in advance.